presentation tonight.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Let us pray. O God of all creation, we humbly ask your blessing upon this meeting tonight. We give you thanks for leaders who listen and for citizens who come ready to engage. May this be a chamber of conversation, of progress, and of bold leadership. May this community be one that fosters dreams, and may the roads that lead us to progress, may they be made smooth, with hope always lighting the way. We pray all these things in the name of the one that each of us calls Lord. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Our next item is public comment. The public is invited to comment on any subject under the jurisdiction of the Lindsay City Council, including agenda items other than notice public hearings. Comment shall be limited to 3 minutes per person with 30 minutes overall for the entire comment period, unless otherwise indicated by the mayor. Participants speak at the stand after clearly stating their name for the clerk. We would invite anyone who wishes to address the council to come up at this time. We will also permit, if you wish to speak to an item as it comes up on the agenda, you may do so at that time. Would anyone like to address the council now?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eric Sinclair. Sinclair Television, Fresno, California, LLC. Cane page Fox 26. Sinclair Television, Bakersfield, California, LLC. KBAK, Bakersfield, 29. Revolution Studios. I just want to say that everyone's doing a good job. Congratulations to the new CIA Director, Gina Haspel. You did a great job under the Bush administration, and yeah, hopefully we'll see the same under the Trump administration. Today was National School Walkout Day, and I hope everybody participated in their own way and gave leniency to the truancy towards the freedom of speech to every student at every school. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Benny Corona. Proud to be born and raised in Lindsay. I'm a Lindsay High School graduate and was fortunate enough to study at the University of California at Berkeley. I'm here to talk about item number 7, DACA resolution. I just want to say that first, thank the City Council for having this conversation. That's really important for me and for a lot of people in my community. My parents were immigrants when they first came to the country. They were undocumented. My dad's now a citizen, and my mom's here as to speak as well. But you know, she became a business owner and now employs dozens of families here. A lot of them from Lindsay. I think it's important for us to support these young immigrants who are the DACA beneficiaries. Pass some kind of resolution as a city and say that we support, right, our residents and our communities. To me, not only are they my community fellow community residents, but a lot of them are my friends. They're my family. I grew up with a lot of them. We worked together in the fields. You know, I grew up in a farm worker family. I worked the fields with a lot of these folks, and to me, there was really never a difference growing up. It was like I found out that, you know, there's such thing as young people in this country that don't have documents. So DACA was something that helped them a lot. You know, unfortunately, it's not something that's continuing to this day. But as a city, you know, I would be very grateful to the city if they were to pass some kind of resolution, at least saying that we're in support of these young folks. That's.
Thank you, Mr. Corona.
Good afternoon. My name is Irma Medellin. I'm community organizer for El Quinto Sol de America. And today I want to say thank you because we have the women's conference on Sunday in the Wellness Center, and you let us to use that facility, and that's very good for us. So thank you very much. We have like around 60 women, and we have participation of Milan Institute, and they have makeups and haircuts, and we have a panel of the very excellent women in there. So and they share their lives, how like a women, how they make a lot of work in their communities and for their communities and for their own families. So thank you for that. And but also I'm here because I ask for your support in this resolution, DACA, because it's very important for our children, because many of us, we cross the border and we don't ask them, come with me, just we take them here. But I think I believe they are very good kids, they are very good citizens, because they live here, and we want a lot of support, and we want that continue. So help. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Leticia Lopez. May I pass these statements around to the council members? Yeah.
Thank you.
So this statement is by a student who is currently at UC Santa Barbara and is a resident here of the city of Lindsay. So it says, greetings council members, my name is Karen Moreno and I am writing this statement as I cannot be present at today's meeting. This letter is my statement of support for agenda item number 7, resolution 1813, a resolution of support for deferred action for childhood arrivals, DACA. I am 18 years old and undocumented. I was born in Mexico and I immigrated to the United States when I was 2 years old. Once here, my family and I moved to Lindsay, California. We settled here and I've called Lindsay home ever since. When I was in 5th grade, my mom told me about my status, but I never really knew what it meant to be undocumented until I started high school. While at Lindsay High School, I discovered I couldn't be part of federal programs because they required citizenship. I discovered I couldn't get a driver's license. Then I discovered I couldn't apply for a job. Yet I continued to study even though my status threatened my possibility to go to college. A proud Lindsay High School graduate of the class of 2017. Fast forward to today, years after DACA was enacted, I am a first-year student at UC Santa Barbara. I have things I would otherwise not have if DACA never existed. As a DACA recipient, I was provided with a work authorization permit, which I have used to obtain a job on campus to be able to pay for my tuition. I also qualified to have a Social Security card. With that, I have been able to obtain a California ID, which has been helpful in so many ways. Now I am able to walk the streets and not fear that if I go to the quote-unquote wrong place at the wrong time, I will get stopped by ICE and be deported. DACA has provided me with a sense of security to be able to live in this community and not live in fear of being separated from my family. Yet I will only be able to say this until my permit expires. I don't like to see that my days are numbered, and if Congress does not find a permanent solution to DACA, I may not be eligible to renew my permit once it expires, losing the safety it has provided me and becoming vulnerable to deportation. So today I ask you, Lindsay City Council members, to pass a resolution of support for deferred action for childhood arrivals, DACA, to show that the city of Lindsay stands with DACA recipients and the undocumented and immigrant population that lives here that you serve and represent. Thank you. Karen Moreno. I would also like to add that Karen Moreno has been to Washington, D.C. to speak on her own behalf to Congress members that represent her here and ask them to support DACA to find a permanent solution to this issue, and as of right now they have not. And so I pass this out to you guys for you guys to read, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members and staff. My name is Daniel Peñalosa, and I'm here representing the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, CHIRLA. We are a statewide organization with national presence that advocates for immigrant rights. And I'm here to comment on item 7 of today's agenda, the DACA resolution in support. We work directly with DACA beneficiaries and have helped thousands to apply. And we currently don't know what will happen with DACA. Congress has yet to pass any piece of legislation that would shield DACA recipients. And it's a program that currently is up in the air. So, I mean, personally myself, we are we've gone to D.C., Washington, D.C. in the last couple of months to advocate to our congressional elected officials. Specifically, my congressional elected official is Kevin McCarthy. Of course, we've advocated to David Valadao and Devin Nunes himself as well. And so we would like, this is a federal issue, but local, council members or chambers are able to use their voice on the critical issue that does affect at the local level. Students like Karen and many hundreds of students across the San Joaquin Valley benefit from DACA and are currently students at not just high schools but at colleges and have benefited from this program. So we hope that the City Council today, every council member and including the mayor, is able to vote in favor of this DACA resolution that would just signal to the community residents that have DACA in our immigrant community that this council, the City of Lindsay, supports DACA students and those that have DACA. So thank you.
Mi nombre es Araceli Corona y tengo 6 hijos nacidos aquí. Yo tengo 26 años viviendo en Lindsay y quiero que soporten a los jóvenes con DACA y que pasen una resolución. Yo sé lo que es vivir en este país sin documentos. La vida de la gente sin papeles es mucho sufrir. Yo tuve una orden de deportación, pero en mi corte se me dio la oportunidad de seguir viviendo en este país. Ahora tengo un hijo que fue a estudiar a una de las mejores universidades del mundo. Y también tengo un hijo que está dando su servicio militar en las Fuerzas Armadas por 5 años. Mis otros hijos también están mirando que es necesario trabajar duro para demostrar a este país que somos dignos de vivir aquí. Los inmigrantes somos personas de trabajo y yo creo que debemos tener nuestra estadía en regla. Aunque yo antes no tenía, hoy en día tengo mi propio negocio, dando trabajo a más de 30 familias. Muchas de estas viven en Lindsay. Le doy las gracias a la ciudad por hablar de este asunto y les pido, por favor, que apoyen a nuestra comunidad y a sus residentes pasando esta resolución.
My name is Araceli Corona, and I have 26 years living in Lindsay. I want the City Council to support the young people with DACA and to pass a resolution so that they can, I know what it's like to live in this country undocumented, and it's a very tough life that consists of a lot of suffering. At one point had an order of deportation, but the courts gave me the opportunity to keep living in the United States. And now I have a son that's gone to study in one of the best universities in the country, and also have a son that has 5 years serving in the military of the United States. My other kids are also U.S. citizens, and they're seeing what that it's important to work hard, and that immigrants and people like our family are deserving to be here, that we are hardworking people, and we believe we should have we have the right to we should have the right to be to have the opportunity to be citizens. Now I have my own business, and where I employ dozens of families in Lindsay, and I want to thank the City Council for talking about this issue, and to please support our community and the residents that the City Council represents. Thank you. Gracias.
Good evening. My name is Vivian Franco. I'm a retired educator. I've worked in higher education for over 40 years. I had an opportunity to work on admissions requirements and outreach to youth in this area as well as the entire state of California. I worked as an associate dean for the California State University system, and in doing that, I worked as in a liaison relationship with California high schools, as well as the University of California, the California community colleges, and all of that was done to provide a pathway for our students in California to get the best education they can possibly get in our institutions of higher education. I'm here in support of DACA. As an administrator, I worked diligently to make sure that all students are treated equitably. All students had an opportunity to get an education, and I will tell you as a city council that you will not find a more exemplary group of individuals than those who have been here and have participated in the DACA program. Sadly, many of them did not know that they were undocumented until they applied for admission to a university or a college, because we implemented requirements where we require a Social Security number, and many students did not have that. And so we now have dream centers at many California state universities. They're new. I've been retired for 5 years, so I can tell you that most of these centers are new, but you will find widespread support for this population throughout the higher education community. Lastly, I want to say that this is not just an education issue. It's not just a social justice issue. It is a moral issue. And even though the laws reside at the federal level, community support and support from bodies such as local city councils truly, truly mean a lot. It means a lot to the individuals in this room. It means a lot to every community member throughout this entire region, as well as the entire state of California, and frankly, throughout the United States. So I appreciate your time, and I do hope that you will support the resolution.
Thank you.
Hello, elected officials and mayor of the city of Lindsay. My name is Raul Garcia. I come from the community of Porterville, but I also volunteer with an organization based here in Lindsay called the Coalition Advocating for Pesticide Safety, or also known as CAPS. We're based here in Lindsay, and I also volunteer with an immigrants' rights organization, CHIRLA, which our rally coordinator just spoke earlier to you guys. As someone who volunteers here in the city of Lindsay regularly, and someone who lives in a city that just also passed a resolution supporting DACA, I basically want to give the same message that I asked the elected officials of Porterville as to consider, is that, given today's political climate, a lot of our undocumented youth aren't too sure and aren't too certain about their future. And I know you guys at the city level can't change any laws, but what I want to say is that at the city level, what you guys can do is make Lindsay one of those cities that are undocumented youth and our undocumented families, and not just that, but their families that are residents and citizens. Let them know that the city of Lindsay is a place that they can, come to and will be safe and will feel safe. They'll feel safe to go to school. They'll feel safe to go to our parks. They'll be safe to go to our stores. They'll feel safe to travel and tell people, hey, I live in this city where, they support undocumented immigrants. And my time of volunteering with, both CAPS and CHIRLA, I've gone to travel the state. And, whether I intend to or not, I meet a lot of great immigrants, a lot of great undocumented youth that are beneficiaries of CHIRLA. Of DACA, my bad. And the only thing that I can think of, these are individuals that, they pay taxes, they follow our laws, they deal with their IDs saying that the federal limits apply and all that other fun stuff, and yet they still want to be here in our great state. They still want to be here in Lindsay. They still want to be here in Porterville. So I say that let's encourage them to stay in our communities, and let's encourage them to become productive members of our society, they already are, to continue being productive members of our society. And the best way I believe the city of Lindsay could do that is by passing this resolution showing their support to our undocumented youth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, City Council of Lindsay. My name is Jose Torres, and I've lived here in the Valley my whole life, basically. And I'm a resident of Exeter, but I have nephews and nieces here in Lindsay that, they are still in elementary school, middle school, and high school. And they're from here, but I have friends and family that are undocumented or are beneficiaries of programs like DACA. And the fact that a program like DACA has a 91% employment rate, where they're either actually just working, serving in the military, going to school, or I think those are the three options, right? But they're being productive members of society. The fact that the current presidential administration is not doing anything to protect them is immoral. Not just immoral, it's dumb. It's really just moronic. Because if you actually went through and deported these people, then you would hurt the economy. You would hurt our communities. And I'm just here asking that the city of Lindsay pass a resolution in favor of these DACA recipients, because they are a part of our community. Thank you.
Hello, Madam Mayor and council members. Name is Angel Garcia. I am the current chair. I come here as chair of the coalition advocating for pesticide safety, and we are based here in Lindsay. And today I concur with my brothers and sisters. Today is an opportunity to send the message to the community here in Lindsay that we are in support of these individuals that have contributed to the social fabric of our communities, that have contributed in many ways and continue to do so. And as mentioned just recently, where the current administration is using these individuals as token bargaining chips to negotiate policy at the federal level. However, at the local level, we can send a very strong message. And that message is passing this resolution. It's a resolution that, at the end of it all, doesn't really carry any weight, but it's symbolic. It's in solidarity. I would be very surprised if this resolution didn't pass, given the concern of community members, as you guys can see, that are here today. So I urge the council members here that you guys pass this resolution as a way of showing our community, our DACA recipients, that we are in solidarity with them and we are in support of a program that is that enables folks to be productive members of our society, of our local economy, and make this community what it currently is, and that's Lindsay. So thank you, and I hope that you guys vote yes.
Good evening, council and staff. My name is Trudy Wishman, and I am proud to be here tonight with so many members of our community. I hope there's no question in anyone's mind about what we should do. My message is much smaller. I'd like to ask you for a correction to the minutes of the last meeting. I would like you to add a word to my comments during the public comment period, and that word is fiscally. Right now, my comments read, does not believe the proposal is responsible. I'm sure that I said the proposal, meaning the proposal to demolish the golf course and build soccer fields there with grant money scored to rehabilitate the baseball fields and adjacent kids park. I'm sure that I said that proposal is fiscally irresponsible. I want to elaborate on why I think that. As long as I've been tracking the council's activities, people have been coming to this body wanting to figure out how to improve the Olive Bowl and thereby support Little League baseball. They've always been told there's a lack of money, they'll have to wait till we get some. Now we finally get some, and you've taken it away with very little notice either to the baseball stakeholders or to the community at large. As long as I've lived here, 25 years, this city has had a propensity to skip maintenance for more glamorous big-ticket items, for making things look new. The failure to maintain the community's resources my attorney calls demolition by neglect. I don't think you should have redirected the Olive Bowl's funds to the project of demolishing one public resource in order to build a new one, no matter how needed it may be. The second reason I think approving that project was fiscally irresponsible is that I don't see how it can be accomplished in the required time frame. You approved it without even asking for a timeline. Maybe that comes to you in your private email notes from Bill, but it's not public information. This staff is not known for their ability to accomplish tasks within the given time frame, especially one this tight. My nightmare is that the money will be used to demolish the golf course, but the time will run out before the soccer fields are accomplished and completed. You are the responsible body for the activities of this staff. If those soccer fields aren't ready to go by July 1st, I will hold you personally accountable. And I won't be alone. There will be soccer moms and baseball dads and grandparent golfers and people who just loved being able to see the beauty of that park-like piece of land in our midst as we drive Tulare Road, and now have to look at yet another one of our planning disasters. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Name's Juan Vasquez. Was here last time we had a meeting here talking about baseball and softball. And I got a few of my girls here. I have a lot more playing at the Olive Bowl right now. Like you see, this is our future right here. And there's more at the Olive Bowl now. You know, they want a new field too. I mean, the city has already invested in plenty of soccer fields. And not that I'm against soccer, it's fine. As long as it keeps our youth active, it's a great thing. But I think we should maybe invest into some baseball fields, or if you would, you know, think about it maybe. That's all we're asking. That's why we're here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, City Council members. My name is Andrew Corona, and I'm an 8th grader that goes to Roosevelt Elementary here in Lindsay. I want the City Council to support a resolution for DACA because I don't want young immigrants to live like the people in Mexico. Life is very hard over there, and I don't think they deserve to be deported.
Hello, my name is Eduardo Martinez and I go to Lindsay High School. I'm here to support the DACA resolution. To me, you deserve to feel safe and empowered. No matter what immigration status, many young immigrants should have the opportunity to go to school, college, and have a career. It would impact a big difference in our community because they are hard workers and responsible too. Me coming from a hard-working family of immigrants makes me think a lot, and to me, I feel immigrants should have that chance to change our community and to be able to have a career like many others. They should be treated equally and evenly. They came to find a future and together we can help them. That's why I want the City Council to please pass the DACA resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have just about reached our 30-minute limit for public comment, but if anyone else wishes to address the council at this time, they still may do so. Seeing no one, we will close our public comment period. It was nice having so many people here tonight, and especially so many young people here tonight. I recognize the presence of the tribe in the back. I'm sorry you don't have a place to sit. We're honored to have you here. And yeah, hope you're comfortable enough back there. Our next item is council reports. Council members can report on recent or upcoming events or activities. Councilmember Velasquez, anything to report tonight?
I just will be attending a meeting tomorrow with the EDC board in Exeter. I think, Bill, you're going to be attending. You can report on that.
You can report next time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Councilman
Not at
Watson.
this time.
Councilman Cortez.
So I'd like to start off with a little trivia here. Did you know that March 8th was International Women's Day? Well, on this date, or a date very close to it, many organizations had different events to honor women. Locally, as mentioned earlier, El Quinto Sol de America had a women's conference on March 11th at the Wellness Center. I was there briefly and had an opportunity to share a little bit about myself. The goal of the conference is great. The theme was something like take care of yourself so you can continue to care for others. And I hope that they continue with this event in the future and that the event grows every year. Also related to this subject, my mother, Maria Soria, who is a Lindsay resident, was honored on Saturday, March 10th by the Tulare County League of Mexican American Women. Although my mother is not directly involved in public service, she has been instrumental in ensuring that her children are involved in making a difference. 4 of the 5 kids that she has are in public service. Here in the United States, March is National Women's History Month. So a lot of attention is given to honor the extraordinary achievements of American women. And I want to say to all the women here today, let's keep at it. We can do it. Okay. Next, the Olive Bowl is looking great. Thank you for all the hard work to the Lindsay Youth Softball Baseball Group. I took my daughter last week for practice one day, and it was just amazing. Every day it keeps looking better and better, and I know that that is because of the countless hours and dedication that this group has put into it. So I hope that it continues to be that way. I hope that we will continue to support that project and that that sport also continues to grow. They also, in speaking to one of the parents out there, they had nothing but positive things to say about Lisa Davis, who is the coordinator of the Wellness Center. So that, of course, makes me feel very happy. And their season begins this weekend officially with an opening ceremony on Saturday. This Saturday is also the inauguration ceremony for the Spring Lindsay Youth Soccer League at the Lindsay High School fields at 8 o'clock. All the teams and volunteer coaches are invited and introduced. It's kind of like a little parade. Orange Blossom Festival Parade is around the corner, and we are working to make some minor changes in hopes that we are more practical. One of the changes include moving the judges and announcers table. So instead of being placed across the street from Bank of America, we're going to set them up in front of Willie's Market, where we have a larger crowd and we'll be able to hear the summaries of the parade entries. So we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work out, you know, we can always adjust in the future. Ono City dinner tickets are out and they're $10 each. I have tickets if anybody wants to buy any. The dinner will be on Saturday, April 7th at the Wellness Center. Since this is the day of the Orange Blossom Festival Queen coronation ceremony, the Queen and her attendants and families will be our guests. And speaking of the Lindsay Ono Sister City Committee, we because I'm going to, we leave to Ono City, Japan on Thursday, March 22nd, and return back home on Monday, April 2nd. So wish me luck and pray for a safe return. If anyone wants to donate any gifts or anything that you want to share with Ono City, Japan, please let me know, and I'll be more than happy to take that to our sister city in Ono, Japan. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you. Yes. Okay. I'm wearing my Irish tats tonight. As a not so subtle announcement that the museum fundraiser and Irish dinner is this Saturday, St. Patrick's Day, 5 to 7. Very good food, corned beef and cabbage, $20 a ticket, and I also have tickets. So, the museum offers free tours to students, to classrooms, to learn about Lindsay history, open 8 hours a week, no charge to attend the museum. So we are dependent on donations from the community to stay open. Hope everyone can support us on that. At my suggestion, Bill and I met last week with our federal Congressman Nunez representative in our area concerning issues that we have with housing and urban development that date back to the 2007 freeze relief program that we instituted. And she was very understanding. I think the meeting went well, but we need a lot of follow-up on that. And we will be following up with someone coming out from the Washington office that will be in the district the first week of April. So we'll continue those discussions, and it may not go any better than the TCAG discussions, but we're trying. Right? We'll see where that gets us. With that, Denise, you have student report tonight?
No report tonight.
No report tonight. Well, nice to have you here tonight.
Thank you.
Bill, staff report?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll keep it brief. There will be a Helping One Woman event for Isabel Arroyo this Thursday, 6 p.m. at China's Alley. I think Isabel Arroyo is the fabric of our community, and I hope that there is a great turnout to honor and support her. She's got significant health challenges, and she needs our help. Staff is still reviewing finance director candidates. We're down to 3. I've been doing individual interviews following the bulk interview, and I'll keep council apprised of how that goes. The school district has been notified of the city's intent to exit the sports field agreement. They understand and are supportive of that, and we're working together through Lisa to make the transition as smooth as possible and make sure that we don't leave any of our league or team activities in the lurch. Lots of meetings coming up. TCTA, Madam Mayor, on Monday, 1 o'clock, where the settlement with TCAG will be discussed and voted upon. Councilmember Velasquez talked about the EDC board meeting. They'll be discussing something called an opportunity zone there, so it's kind of important for us to be involved with that. And for Mayor Pro Tem, March 21st Council of Cities meeting, 3 p.m. Friday market has started again. Seeing activities out there. Some adjustments are being made, but it's going well. Citywide cleanup is slated for April 5, 6, and 7. Same location as last year. Changes for this year will include a price increase of $10 per load, but no limit on the number of loads. So you can bring as many trips as you need to. You come with your water bill, show that you belong in Lindsay. You can make as many trips as you need to take care of that. Lisa's name was mentioned here. She has got a full calendar going on. She's been meeting with skimmers, working out their schedule, dealing with certified lifeguard training and certification. All kinds of good things happening. Youth baseball, softball facilities request has been completed. Things are happening out there. Practices have begun. She's working with the volleyball group who wants to start doing tournaments out at our city park. So we're trying to identify some. These would be grass tournaments, so minimally invasive. And she's got a group of people that are excited about doing that. She's got control of Wellness Center webpage, Facebook, and Instagram, and she's in the process of updating that. Lots of good things going on. We are still in discussions with people wanting to lease the Wellness Center, so that's moving positively. And lots of other good notes, but I'll save those for another time. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Our next item is consent calendar. We have 2 items on consent: the City Council meeting minutes for February 27th and the warrant list for February 23rd, 2018. The minutes need to, according to my little thing, it says minutes February 27th, 2017. If that's what you're looking at, that needs to be corrected. And we've had a request from a member of the public to make a correction on the minutes and add the word fiscally, which I recall that conversation and that word was used. So I think with those amendments.
I move for approval of the consent calendar with the corrections as stated. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? carries. All right, the next item is an action item. We have a request for support for Eagle Mountain Casino relocation, and this will be presented by our city manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to provide a little introduction, and then I'm going to invite Mr. Kenneth McDermott up. So staff recommends that the City Council authorize the mayor to sign a letter of support for the relocation of the Eagle Mountain Casino from its current remote location on tribal lands southeast of Lake Success to a more accessible, tribal-owned, and appropriately zoned parcel near the Porterville Airport. Benefits: better management of scarce water resources both on the reservation and within the city of Porterville, better management of effluent in collaboration with the city of Porterville, local and regional economic development opportunities that would include McDermott, the planned sports facility on Highway 65, local restaurants and gas stations, and additional construction and facility operation job opportunities. And with that, Mr. McDermott.
Good evening. Thank you. My name is Kenneth McDermott. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Tule River Tribe. I've got a few council members with me. I got Wendy Correa, Zachary Janoko, Johnny Nito, and Priscilla Sanos, along with our casino manager there in the back, and then Matt Ross. We're here tonight on behalf of the tribe and want to thank you for having us here at this meeting. As you know, the tribe is moving forward, trying to get the casino moved and relocated to the 40 acres in Porterville. The tribe's owned that 40 acres in Porterville for nearly half a century, and with this project brings a 250-room hotel, 20,000 square feet of convention space, entertainment center, and then which will turn our current casino into a destination resort casino. I think his opening statement pretty much touched all of our topics, but
Sorry about that.
it was very well. But a big benefit to our community with this casino relocation would be, as you know, the local surrounding areas, along with other areas throughout California, have been struggling with water issues in the past years. With the relocation, if it were successful with this, we'll be able to maybe relieve our housing that is so much needed at this time, but we can't do it because we don't have the water to do it. So with the casino being able to be relocated, that'll alleviate some of the water pressure that's going to the casino to be able to suit homes for our tribal members within the reservation boundaries. So that's another big reason. Once again, one of the main reasons we're here is asking a letter of support and ensure any transparency into everything we do. That way everyone knows up front what we're doing. We want everyone to be aware of what we're doing. And if we're successful with this project, there's going to be a lot more jobs that come to the local areas, local vendors, maybe members from within all the communities within our area, job opportunities, and even the local businesses to support the construction of the project. So that's why we're here. Thank you very much for your time.
Do you have some information? Sure.
Would anyone else like to say anything to add?
Thank you.
Thank you. I got one the other day.
I forgot we got one more tribal member in the back.
What was her name?
Sonny Nito.
Yeah, my name is Johnny Nito, tribal council member. First off, I want to compliment you guys on your youth speaking up. That's very, very strong. I mean, that's a young demographic right there, 30 and down. And you could tell that your school district is doing a great job. So that's very, very good. Compliment the young ones in here. It was strong. No matter what it was good. But I got it because I read it and I don't lay down. But that's very impressive to see your guys' youth here strong and united in what they're believing. But that's off topic, but that's the first compliment. But yeah, let's swap out with our reservation and local cities nearby. That's just how it is and what we intend to do with the market and to bring more people right by. That's all it is, just bring people right by and stop to say hi. That's just short words, but just wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish?
Good evening, Wendy Correa, Tule River Tribal Council member. I'd just like to add that with this casino relocation, we're going to also bring a convention center to the area, which is much needed. We are one of the largest employers in the county, and like Kenneth said, this casino is going to bring a lot more jobs. We look forward to other opportunities the tribe can bring to the area with a convention center and a hotel. We can have an area for a staycation. Right now, we enjoy visiting the Tachi Resort in the summers, you know. So I just am here to ask for your support, and thank you very much.
Anyone else wish to address us on this?
Thank you for having us.
Okay, thank you for being here tonight. The council have questions or discussion?
Well, I do. I probably one of the longest on the board here, on the council. I remember back when you guys were talking about moving over there by the lake, so I've been in support of it since then. I'm glad it's getting closer. I know the economic impact it can have on our community and the surrounding communities. So I'm, 1,000% in support of this project, and I look forward to having a staycation in Porterville. I look forward to it. So I just want to thank you for continuing to pursue this and not being discouraged, and I certainly give my support.
We were at me and Brian were at the meeting with a couple of your members last week. And one of the things that really got me was where you were able to use your water that you guys used. They got the soccer fields that are out there, and the water that's going to be going through the resort or the casino is actually going to be used to water the soccer fields and sort of keep on recycling itself. So that was really interesting, and it's a big thumbs up.
I think, pardon my voice, but I think the tribe has done a very thorough job in being able to plan for being able to utilize the resources that are out there on the 40 acres and freeing up the water necessary on the reservation to building of homes up there. I think that there's just a lot of pluses, and as far as I'm concerned, we can start tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Any other comment or questions from the council? If not, what action?
I would move that we authorize the mayor to sign a letter of support for the relocation of the Eagle Mountain Casino from its current remote location on tribal lands to tribal-owned land near the Porterville Airport.
I'll second. Been moved by Velasquez, seconded by Cortez. Would the clerk please take roll?
Councilmember Velasquez,
Aye.
Councilmember Cortez,
Aye.
Councilmember Watson,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Salinas,
Aye.
Mayor Kimball.
I'll make it a unanimous. Aye. Motion carries 5-0.
Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Item 6 is another action item, proclamation that will be presented by Councilwoman Cortez. Sorta, or shall I just take
These
it
are my
on?
original notes.
Okay.
Okay, well, I just want to say that, the following recognition comes to us from nominations that we actually received from the community. So a few months ago, I had brought up the idea to the council about recognizing either individuals or local organizations that have done a lot of good for our community. So people started commenting on my Facebook page, on my council member Facebook page, and then somebody even posted a picture of one of our community members, one of our residents that has done a lot of good in our community. And even though I've lived here in Lindsay practically my whole life, I didn't know about this person, and I was very intrigued. So people started talking about him. I brought the idea to Brian because we serve on this committee, I guess, and that's why we're here today, to recognize Mr. Tom Spurlock, who is a longtime resident of Lindsay and who was a teacher for Lindsay High School, Mr. Spurlock. Yes, so, I have a lot to say, but I think it's all said in the proclamation. that don't know Mr. Spurlock, he was actually nominated because he goes on regular morning walks. And like he told me one day, he realized, well, I'm going on these morning walks. Why not do something positive for my community? So he got a white bucket, and he called it his trash picker-upper, which is his little tongs, I guess. And he started picking up trash on the way or throughout his walk. So he would pick it up from the ground, he would pick it up from the bushes or wherever he saw it. And that really, you know, just beautifies our community. And it also is a chain reaction. People see that and people want to do it as well. And people feel proud of the community that they belong to. So for that and so many other things, Mr. Spurlock, we want to recognize you as our outstanding citizen for this first round. So you're our very first one. So
Thank you, Laura. I have a proclamation to read. So, and we did organize a subcommittee on the council to look at what's going on in our community and occasionally bring forth a recommendation of someone to be recognized. And Tom Spurlock is our first recognition. So, whereas Tom Spurlock's local story begins in 1968 when he arrived in Lindsay to begin his teaching career. As a teacher, he served our children for 24 years, retiring in 1992. And whereas Tom loves his community and has made downtown Lindsay his home, for 26 years since retirement, Tom has been seen routinely walking the sidewalks of town, either in his beanie or brimmed hat, depending on weather and season. And whereas during those walks, Tom recognized a need for community cleanup and realized that he could help beautify Lindsay, over the past 2 years has carried a bucket and trash grabber with him during his walks to collect trash wherever he goes. And whereas Tom is well known and appreciated around the community for his cleanup efforts, and whereas Tom was recognized by the Lindsay Orange Blossom Festival Committee for his outstanding contributions, and is serving as the 2018 Orange Blossom Festival Grand Marshal, now therefore be it resolved that the City of Lindsay, Mayor and City Council do hereby proclaim Mr. Tom Spurlock as an outstanding citizen. His work positively impacts our community and serves to inspire future generations of community stewards. Further, he is a superb example of what can be accomplished when community members within the City of Lindsay address problems they see in tangible and meaningful ways. Mr. Spurlock exemplifies leadership by example and is to be commended for his passion and spirit of volunteerism in the City of Lindsay. In witness whereof we have hereby set our hands and affixed the seal of the City of Lindsay, California, this 13th day of March. So will you come forward and get your proclamation? So we have Mr. Spurlock. Is that Steph going to be problematic? Watch your step. There you go. I'm going to shake your hand, sir. Oh, okay. Picture time.
Mr.
Tom,
Spurlock?
right there. Picture. Right, wait.
Right
Right, picture.
But you can't see me now, Tom.
Oh, I do. Esteban, here.
Hold it.
Take that in your hand. There you go.
Yeah.
right there.
Get a little tighter.
Okay.
Did you get us all?
Congratulations.
Thank you, Tom.
Attaboy, Tom.
Oh, my wife's daughter gave her one of these years ago, and you know, she still got it.
Oh, well, that is great.
Survives that long.
All right.
Now, what do I do? Go sit down?
Go sit down. Yeah, thank you. And the chief will make sure you get that step.
You want to say something, Tom?
Pardon?
Did you want to say something?
Well, how much time do I have?
3 minutes.
It's almost up. You got to hear from Tom.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah, go ahead.
With all this fuss over me, I don't know what to do. When the young lady I saw her hanging over the fence, and she was motioning me to come out, and I didn't know what she wanted. And she told me, and it kind of blew me away for a minute there, and I thought, well, okay, if they say. I thought it was a good idea. Some things you left out. This year, I've lived in Lindsay 50 years. And my present residence since January 1st of 73. So I'm pretty well established. I think she asked me a question, and the same day, one of my former students asked me a question. Mr. Spurlock, when you retired, why didn't you leave Lindsay? I got that same question from one of my former students. I said, well, I guess a few things that happened. One of the big things that happened, I've changed wives since I've lived here. That was a big difference. That house I live in, I think Lindsay should probably compensate that as a Lindsay, because I've got the papers on that house. I've got the original contractor specifications. I've got the blueprints. It was built in 1910, the year that Lindsay was incorporated.
So it's a
And-
museum piece, is what
Pardon?
you're saying. It's a museum piece, is what you're
Yeah, that's
saying.
what I, and so we're the fourth owners. We're the fourth people that live in here. Started with the guy that built it, which was Waddell, Harold Waddell, 1910. So this year, that house is 108 years old. I don't know how long that Waddell took state control, but the next person lived in was an attorney that was here. I think he died there, I'm pretty sure. His name was, well, there I go. Anyway, the next people was Phyllis and Wayne, I think it is, Thompson. Yeah, he worked for the telephone company. We got it from them. I came home from school one day and my wife said, Tom, I don't know if that house is the one that's for sale or not because it just says house for sale. But if that's the house that's for sale, I want it. She didn't say how much or anything. She said, so I called and we figured probably at that time, 26 maybe, something like that. I called and they said they wanted 19.5. It just blew me away. I didn't even have to look at it, but we did. We went over and looked at it. Because my wife said I want it. You don't argue with that. And I've been very, very happy there ever since. Lindsay's my warm place, you might say. I guess you'd call it that. And I think that's about it.
Thank you.
All right, our next item is Resolution 1813, Resolution of Support for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. And this will be presented by Laura.
Yes. So, I was the one at the last city council meeting, you know, I brought it to the council's attention that I was interested in bringing forth a DACA resolution of support for our community. A lot of what I wanted to say, a lot of the people that spoke earlier already said it, but I wanted to bring this topic to light because it is very important, not only to me personally, but to our community, as we've already heard from them. Nowadays, with all that is occurring, you know, with all the deportations and raids that we currently see on a daily basis, there's a lot of fear in our some of our community members. And that's why I thought, you know, if we bring this to the table and if we are successful and we pass a resolution, we are demonstrating to our community that we stand by them. You know, my parents were my parents arrived to Lindsay in 1975, 76. They came here undocumented. As time went by and there was an immigration reform, they took advantage of that opportunity. And that's what our country is about, opportunities. Unfortunately, since then, since 1985, there hasn't been that opportunity, but there have been other programs like DACA that I believe are very important for our community members and that give youth, that give family hope, that they continue to believe in the American dream, because really, my mom is back there. Unfortunately, she's unable to speak. She has Alzheimer's now, but she was recognized because of that on Saturday, because she never gave up. She was undocumented. She bought her first house undocumented on Orange Avenue here. She was only 26 at the time. My dad didn't want to because he was scared. And thank God that my mom was one of those women that didn't take no for an answer. Like Mr. Spurlock said here, you know, you got to please your wife. And so they were able to be successful in this community and continue to be successful. That's why I hope that tonight that we count with the council's support to pass this resolution, to let our federal legislators know that this is important to us, and we urge you to take some action and not use us as tokens for other agenda items that they may have in mind. So again, I hope that we all stand in solidarity and that we continue, as somebody said earlier here, to foster dreams. I believe it was in our opening prayer that we continue to foster dreams of our Lindsay families.
All right. We will make sure that there wasn't someone else who wanted to address the council at this time. You may come forward, state your name.
Thank you, Mayor, council members, staff, and the audience. My name is Vincent Salinas. I reside at 1247 East Sunnyview Avenue, Visalia. I'm here this evening representing the Latino Political Action Committee of Tulare County. We're a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization, and I'm the chairman of the organization. I would like to request your support on the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, known as DACA, in the form of a resolution. But first, let me give you a little historical perspective on DACA. The DREAM Act started in 2001 by Senator Hatch and Durbin, and it took almost 10 years to get to the House under House Bill number 6497. And then in 2011, went back to the Senate under Senate Bill 952. And it was never brought out of the Senate because they lacked interest for it. That's when in June of 2012, President Obama signed an executive order establishing the DREAM Act. The DREAM Act that he signed incorporated the blend of the House and the Senate bill, and also had some of the 2001 original information in the executive order he signed. And the requirements are, as an age limit, must obtain a GED, go to college, must be employed, serve in the military. Those are the requirements, and they have to register every 2 years that they're here in this country. And with that, they would become eligible after 6 years for permanent residence. That's what those bills combined and so forth incorporated into it. You know, as of December 2017, there were 800,000 who were registered. Of those, 20 were under 20 years old. 80% of them were between 21 and 31. And of those, 500 are presently serving in the military, and there's 300 right now for delayed entry into the military. And now there is about 800 who created some crimes, small crimes, that no longer are eligible for the deferment. Your support here this evening will help 3,000 DACA residents of Tulare County. So why don't we help them reach their American dream this evening by you supporting DACA this evening? Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions while I'm up here?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've received a letter with a request that it be read into the record, so I will read that now. To the City of Lindsay Council. As a school board member, I would like to thank the council for discussing the real issue of immigration, in particular the DACA issue that many youth in our community know personally. It is important to recognize and support our community who face an uncertain future. As local elected officials, it is our responsibility to represent all those in our community who contribute in one way or another. There is no doubt that the landscape of our city has changed over the years to now a more diverse and immigrant community. DACA recipients sit in our local schools. They are the kids playing in our streets, recreational sports, and McDermott. Our neighbors are consumers and taxpayers. In the fall of 2017, the Lindsay School Board took on a similar discussion, and we concluded that we wanted to ensure our community that we supported them in this difficult time of uncertainty. Tonight, I urge you to also stand behind your neighbors and community by sending a strong message for DACA support, by passing a resolution and communicating to our state representatives to find a comprehensive immigration solution that will benefit and empower our community. Thank you, Perla Soria. Anyone else wish to address the council on this agenda item?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eric Sinclair, and I'm not for this resolution. Immigration reform, DACA. I'm for the security of the citizens here in the United States of America, for the security for the people here in the state of California, for the security for the citizens here in Lindsay, California. If you're undocumented, get documented. There's other people in different countries coming into these United States of America and using avenues, using loopholes like this. They come in and they destroy, then they leave. And we have no documentation about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sinclair. Anyone else who has not previously addressed the council on this topic? We will not do rebuttal at this time, but anyone else who wishes to speak who has not done so may at this time.
May I add one thing?
Yeah.
I just want to inform you that Tulare County Board of Supervisors supported it, City of Tulare, City of Farmersville, the City of Porterville, and last night the City of Woodlake. And so the only city that hasn't supported DACA is the City of West City.
Okay, thank you. With that, we'll bring it back before the council. Any discussion desired to take place or questions of anyone, or would entertain a motion?
I just wanted to make a comment if I could.
Sure.
My mom was from Mexico. She immigrated to the United States also. My dad was from Texas, and so she became a citizen that way. My brother was born in Mexico, and when he was brought here, he didn't know he was undocumented for years until he needed to get his papers in order when he was going to college back in a long time ago. And you know, sometimes I feel like people see us up here and they think that we don't get it. And I did work in the fields for years. I grew up poor. I grew up in a household of 13. My home in Cutler was a home of, looking back at it, it was almost like a home of refuge for a lot of immigrants. My parents, would help them and open the door for them. So I get it, so I just wanted to give that support.
I support it. I support it. Okay.
So,
I propose that the council declare, was it that one?
no, it's just a motion to.
No, not that one.
Not that one, okay. So I just, I make a motion that we support Resolution 1813, the DACA resolution of support.
Second.
It's been moved for approval by Councilmember Cortez, seconded by Councilman Salinas. Would the clerk please take roll?
Councilmember Cortez,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Pro Tem Salinas,
Aye.
Councilmember Velasquez,
Aye.
Councilmember Watson,
Abstain. Excuse me.
and Mayor Kimball.
Sorry, I didn't choke.
Aye. The motion carries, 4 in favor, 1 abstention. All right, our next item, we're going to be getting a lot less interesting pretty quick, probably.
Madam Mayor, may I speak for just a moment?
Yes.
The audience is welcome to stay, but there's no obligation to. Thank you for coming out.
Right.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
you. They all leave.
Come on, Tom.
Oh, you bet, whatever. We need a break.
Wait.
My hearing is not real good, but I think that part of the group here was from the reservation, the Indian speaking for the Indian, and they're changing and going to a new location at the airport. Was that what that was about?
Yes.
I just want to tell those folks that,
I
if
think
they're still here.
I think they left.
That I have two granddaughters that are 1/4 Indian.
All right.
I've been to the reservation. I've been to powwows. I've had a lot of fun with them, and I just want to say it. Give them a big eye too.
All right. Tom, you're under no obligation to stay, Mr. Spurlock, but you may. If you'd like to leave at this time, it's not going to be as exciting from here on out, but you're welcome to stay.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
May I just say a comment?
Yes.
I want to thank you guys for passing this resolution. It means a lot to us and the residents of the community. Thank you.
Okay, with that, we will move to item number 8. Action item, Hermosa Street, Westwood Avenue Roundabout Project. Authorize release of notice of bid documents. Mike.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Our project consultant, Omni Means, a GHD company, is preparing the construction document for the reference project. As funding provided for the project by Self-Help is a timeline, milestones to be met, staff is requesting authorization to bid the project once the construction documents are completed. Let's see if I can bring up the page here. There we go. So it's anticipated that the bidding process will occur in April 2018 with bid award recommendation to be presented to council in May 2018 with construction to begin in June of 2018. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Do we have an estimated time of completion?
120 days, I believe, is the target bid timeline. So we project that out. The target is to begin before school gets out and be completed after school is in session.
Right.
Trying to utilize summer months as much as possible.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, any other questions for Mike?
Madam Mayor, if I may add, staff has continued its outreach efforts. I think we've done now 5 off-site meetings away from these council chambers with different stakeholders. Mike has had meetings with property owners in the area, and so we've been doing outreach, and in response to some of the outreach, that's why you see the signs on the roundabout touting its safety benefits, and also from comments received, the signage has been updated around the existing roundabout, and we'll continue those dialogues as is necessary.
So this is just an authorization to bid, but you don't know exactly when because the documents aren't complete and they're being prepared by Omni Means.
Right. But the cover page that's on the screen there is an 80% document. So city staff, city engineer have already submitted their comments back. So we expect 100% document by the end of March.
Trudy, it's not a public hearing, and I think that you spoke to the issue during the public comment period. Didn't you speak to the roundabout?
No, right? No, she didn't talk about it. No,
It's very short.
no, that's fine.
I have the right to, you said in the beginning of the meeting
I
you'd
did
take
say in the
people.
beginning that people
Yep.
could speak to.
It's
issues
short.
as they came up.
It's very short. When we were going through the approval of the environmental documents, it was said over and over that you still had to approve the project. And if we're putting out a bid for a project that hasn't been approved yet, I'm just curious how you manage that.
Mike, does the site plan review still come before council?
It could, yes. With the 100% document phase, which again, we were shooting for the end of the month, we could bring the 100% project plans at that time. I believe we're also planning at our next council meeting to bring forward a concept of landscaping. And council has the ability to choose a direction on the center island landscaping, and then some of the entry and exit areas that are going to be available for landscaping. So that will be brought before council, and we could include the entire set of construction documents at that time as well.
Okay, council satisfied? All right. Any other questions, comments from the council?
No.
What action would council like to take?
Move for approval.
Moved by Velasquez, seconded by Watson, by the raise of hands of the other voice. Would the clerk please take roll?
Councilmember Velasquez?
Aye.
Councilmember
Actually,
Watson?
it's just a minute order, sorry.
Oh.
So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next item, ordinance number 563, a second reading, adding administrative citations to the municipal code. Chief Hughes?
This is the second reading to add municipal code chapter 1.18 administrative citations section 1.18.010 through 1.18.150 to enforce municipal codes within the city of Lindsay. I'll take any questions if you have them.
Any questions from the council? Not what action would you like to take?
Somebody?
Is there a motion?
Do we have to read? Oh, okay.
Motion for second reading and adoption.
I propose that the council adopt ordinance number 563, adding municipal code chapter 1.18 administrative citation sections 1.18.010 through 1.18.150 to enforce municipal codes within the city and waive the reading of the ordinance in full.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Cortez, seconded by Salinas. Would the clerk please take roll?
Councilmember Cortez?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Salinas?
Aye.
Councilmember Velasquez?
Aye.
Councilmember Watson?
Aye.
Mayor Kimball?
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Item 10, ordinance number 564. We have a request to withdraw.
During the first reading of the proposed fireworks ordinance, council expressed a desire to expand the regulations and penalties for the sale and use of illegal fireworks within the city of Lindsay. After having done some research to best meet your request, an ordinance has been located from a local municipality that I think better fits what you're wanting and your desires. So we would request to withdraw from this reading of the ordinance, and we'll present you a new one when it's ready. Staff's working on it currently.
Do we need a motion and a vote to withdraw?
Yes.
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Right, thank you. Next item, ordinance number 565, second reading, municipal code concerning smoking and tobacco use in city parks.
This is ordinance 565. This is a second reading. This is to add section to municipal code chapter 8.05, smoking regulations, section 8.05.170, smoking and tobacco use in the city parks to prohibit discharge. Oh, that's a typo right there. So this is a smoking ordinance. We did amend the language as you specified per last meeting to include electronic devices and other means of artificially creating smoke. I'll take any questions you have on that.
No questions?
So there's some sort of error in how it's written up in our agenda.
Yeah, it goes from
Just that
smoking
it's
to discharge of any weapon.
As far as the ordinance itself, it just ends at the word city parks if someone's making a motion.
You would just, end it there. Thank you, Madam
Okay.
Mayor.
Is there a
I'm sorry,
motion?
say that again?
So
Just as
if
amended?
you're reading the,
It's right
making
on
the motion, you need to read the ordinance, end at the word city parks. And
Okay, is
don't
that on
add the
there?
prohibit discharge, because goes to the other.
May I add?
No, it's the other one.
His ordinance is number 11.
It's 565, right?
565 is it?
Yeah, there you go.
Like, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, it's right on that.
Because it's right on, okay.
I propose that the council adopt ordinance 565, an ordinance of the city council of the city of Lindsay amending section 8.05.170 of the Lindsay Municipal Code pertaining to smoking regulations and waive the reading in full.
Second.
Been moved by Salinas, seconded by Cortez. Would the clerk please take roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Salinas,
Aye.
Councilmember Cortez,
Aye.
Councilmember Velasquez,
Aye.
Councilmember Watson,
Aye.
Mayor Kimball.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Item 12 is ordinance number 566. Adding a section to the municipal code to be the second reading concerning weapons discharge.
Okay, this is the second reading of ordinance 566, which adds a section to the municipal code title 9, public peace, morals, and welfare, chapter 7, weapons section 9.96, discharge to prohibit discharge of any weapon within the city of Lindsay. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
I propose that the council adopt ordinance number 566, an ordinance of the city council of the city of Lindsay adding title 9, chapter 7, section 9.96 of the Lindsay Municipal Code pertaining to weapons and waive the reading of the ordinance in full. Well, unless somebody wants to read it in full.
I'd like to hear you read it.
Let's
all.
have Ryan read it.
Have me read it.
So do we do
Second.
Like that?
Yeah.
All right, it was moved by Velasquez. I don't know if it was seconded by Watson or Salinas. Watson,
It was.
would the clerk please take roll?
Councilmember Velasquez.
Aye.
Councilmember Watson.
Aye.
Councilmember Cortez.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Salinas.
Aye.
And Mayor Kimball.
Aye. Motion
This is a
carries
small one,
5-0.
it could have been
All right. Item 13 is future agenda items. Council members wish to request anything at this time? Seeing none. 14, executive session. There is none, so our last agenda item is adjournment. Motion to adjourn? Moved by Salinas, seconded by Cortez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
Man, I don't know why I get so choked up. I must be getting old. I think my old age